Hello, testing. Testing 1, 2, 3. Welcome to my very own streaming platform. This is something that I've been working on for the past week, and the reason why I decided to switch over, you might have heard me on Stationhead, but I decided to switch over and create a new platform after one of my listeners and good friend Brian reached out and couldn't log in because he didn't have a station head. I'm sorry. Let me go back. He didn't have a Spotify premium account, which is required to log in and listen to station head if you want to hear the music. So I figured I know how to code. I know how to develop websites, or I've developed 2 games completely self-taught using my own knowledge of JavaScript, HTML, CSS. I could put together something of my own, and here we are. And I want to welcome you. We're using YouTube. I can't give credit to just me alone. You can obviously see we're using YouTube to live stream my voice. I'm actually live streaming my voice through my YouTube channel, which you can follow me at Jordan Hayes on YouTube. And also we're using the YouTube YouTube Player API to provide you the videos that contain the music. So this is all a fun adventure, but it's not easy too, because even though I know how to code, there's still a lot of things that I have to learn. And I can see that Ryan has given me a shout out. If you're listening too, feel free to use the chat feature over on the right hand side of the screen to share your thoughts. If you want to participate in whatever topic of conversation that we're discussing on air, or if you just want to bring something up, give us your peace of mind, feel free to do that. You can also call. I'm also taking calls. 315-743-4069 is the number to call into the show, and I will get your voice on the air. I'm also working on some way to bring listeners on with me as guests or co-hosts directly. Haven't quite figured that part out yet, but again, this is a work in progress. This is not finished, but at least it's a working prototype. It's good enough working prototype of what I'd like it to be. There's still things that I can work on, but I think this is good enough. And thank you for tuning in and listening. And if you have anything you wanted to say, 315-743-4069, or just enter a message in the chat. And during the music breaks, I'll also be participating in the chat and talking with you live, even after the mics are off. So, if you want to make a song request, you can also put that in the chat as well. Coming up next at around, I want to say, 8:10, 8:15, we're going to reveal the next round of the Millennial Madness bracket. I see a lot of you have voted, and we're going to see which items here, which movies, music, TV, or events go through to the next round. We're also going to be talking about the actual March Madness basketball tournament and Syracuse's run up until the Sweet 16. So enjoy the ride, and we'll be back on air to talk about. What that music means, it is time to reveal the next round of the Millennial Madness bracket, which I started back in March, in the first few weeks of March, and a lot of you have been voting to see which items went through. The 4 regions cover musical artists to movies and TV shows to events that happened in the late 90s and the 2000s, and events that happened during that time. So we're already down to, I think, the Sweet 16. And if you're ready, it's time to reveal what you've chosen to advance forward. And we're going to start in the music region. And Beyonce solo career defeated Avril Lavigne in a 2-1 upset, 4-2. Usher beat out Taylor Swift 2-1. And so that means Beyonce and Usher will be going head to head in the next round. That should be an interesting matchup. In our movies and TV region, we have number 3, Toy Story 2, advancing, putting an upset on Finding Nemo. So that was an epic Pixar battle, but the classic ended up... One could argue that Finding Nemo was also a classic. Both classics battling it out to the death, but Toy Story 2, Woody, Buzz, and the whole gang put it out over Dory and Nemo, and I think it was Merlin, the dad fish name. If you know what I'm talking about, please let me know in the chat. I also see we have a guest on. Welcome. And we're just about to reveal... Okay, that's good. We have, I think it's our source is just on. And welcome. We're just revealing the Millennial Madness brackets, and so let me go back and catch everybody up on from the beginning where we started. In the music region, Beyonce beat out Avril Lavigne 2-1. Usher beat out Taylor Swift 2-1. In the movies region, Toy Story 2 upset Finding Nemo, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the game show, beat out Lizzie McGuire, and that was a quite turn of events because we had Lizzie McGuire leading that particular region up until now. So that's a big upset. Millionaire is moving on. In the tech, I forgot to mention, we also do tech items here. AOL Instant Messenger AIM stays on, survives another round over iPods and another MP3 players. And the iPhone is also undefeated. They survive in advance, and they're going on to the next round, which I believe is the Elite Eight. In the events region, 9/11 is hanging on. They will take on... Oh, it's a split. It's a tie between the Obama election and Hurricane Katrina. So we're going to need more votes to get the tie broken on that. But if I had to pick, and I don't know if I can pick, but I'm going to advance the Obama election because that has gotten the most votes so far. So to recap, here's what we have in the Elite Eight of the Millennial Madness region. We have Beyonce in the music region going up against Usher. We have Toy Story 2 going up against Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We have AIM going up against the iPhone first generation. And we have 9/11 going up against the Obama election. So please vote. I will provide a link in my Facebook page for you to vote in the next round, and one of your votes could be making the Final Four next week. Speaking of the Final Four, the actual college basketball Final Four is starting tomorrow, and we're going to talk about that as well as Syracuse basketball's run in the NCAA tournament. That's going to be coming up. So stay tuned, enjoy the music, participate in the chat. If you have something that you want to say, I'm monitoring the chat as we are going along, and you can also call into the show 315-743-4069 and I will try my best to put you on the air. So, lots of fun left in store. You can hear the music. I guess I'll turn the music down because I'm playing it from my desktop. Any audio that's coming out of my computer is actually coming out through the stream. Anyway, welcome back to the show, and we revealed the bracket for the Millennial Madness last segment, but now we're going to talk about the actual college basketball tournament, the March Madness, the NCAA, the big dance. And as you know, tomorrow is the Final Four. Tomorrow is the Final Four. Now, if you told me a year ago, or at the beginning of the college basketball season, that we were even going to have an NCAA tournament this year, given everything going on with the COVID and games being canceled and whatnot, if you had told me that we were going to have an NCAA tournament like we are having this year, I would have laughed. I would have thought it was an early April Fool's joke. But here we are, and we have 4 remaining teams left in the tournament. They are the Houston Cougars, the Baylor Bears, the Gonzaga Bulldogs, and the UCLA Bruins. And it'll be interesting to see how these games play out, especially since a lot of teams haven't been to the Final Four, let alone the NCAA tournament, at least for some, at least 50 or 60 years. Baylor, for example, hasn't made the Final Four since 1950. That's 61 years since they made it all the way to the Final Four. And if you remember, in 2019, they beat out Syracuse in the first round. But now they're going into the Final Four. What a run Syracuse had, speaking of. They didn't really play that well in the regular season, and think that they went all the way to the Sweet 16, and now, after the season's over, we're hearing news about players like Kadari Richmond and Marek Dolezaj going pro, or what was the other name? Who is I'm trying to think of going into the transfer portal or planning to go into the NBA, or at least making waves with the NBA draft. And I think it was not. Let me pull that up here. But anyway, it's sad to see these players go, and I can't believe. I mean, look at how we've done, and just I can't imagine how far away we've made a run. Of course, I wanted to see them make it all the way to the Final Four, but Houston was just too good for us. They executed better on offense. Robert Braswell and John Bolajak are also going into the transfer portal. And they did very well. They contributed to the team. They gave us points. Marek, Robert Braswell, Quincy Guerrier. It's Quincy Guerrier who is planning to put his name into the NBA draft. A lot of people I said, including my friend Matt, say that he's not ready to go to the NBA, and we've had experience before where, I'll give you another recent example. Tyus Battle in 2018 tried his name for the NBA draft but did not get in. Elijah Hughes last year, I think, was the last Syracuse player that did plan to go into the NBA. Now, once you go from college basketball to the NBA, that's another big step. And sometimes you make it, sometimes you don't. But that's just the chance that you have to take with these things. And I think most of the factors that go into the decision to either transfer or go to the NBA is you have to think about Coach Jim Boeheim and whether or not how many minutes you got into the game. And if you're not, they're telling players that they may or may not start the next season. We're about 7 months from the next basketball season, and these coaches are already making decisions or thinking about how things are going to go the next season. And so it's going to be interesting. I mean, who's left? Who's going to come back? We do know that Buddy Boeheim, the coach's son, is planning to come back, and I think his older brother, Jimmy Boeheim, who played on the Cornell basketball team, but obviously the Ivy League, of which Cornell is in it, didn't have a postseason, or I don't think they had a season at all, so Jimmy Boeheim was just left without playing basketball for an entire season. So it's also very possible that we see Buddy and Jimmy Boeheim, Buddy Buckets, as he was known, come here and play for their dad. So that'll be interesting to see who's left on the team. Let's see. Kadari. Unfortunately, it's not going to be Kadari Richmond. He's planning on transferring as well. But let's see who's left on the team that would be good enough to carry us forward into the next season. Alan Griffin, Jesse Edwards, Ramos Sidibe, Joe Girard, Woody Newton, Frank Anselm, Nick Giancola, Jalen Bartley. We have Woody Newton. We actually have a new. We actually got a new recruit, I think. Yes. We actually got a new recruit coming in who knows the Boeheim family personally, is very, very excited. Benny Williams. He's from Syracuse. He's going to join the Syracuse basketball team next season. So it'll be very interesting to see how far they get. Keep in mind, we haven't won the national championship since 2003. That's at least 14 years ago. Well, we'll have to see. And with the actual Syracuse basketball season over, it's time to play my Syracuse team. You do know I play NBA. I play an NBA video game, NBA 2K, and I've created a team on that game called the Syracuse Citrus Elite, and we have famous Syracuse alumni like, for example, Carmelo Anthony, Michael Carter Williams, and we just signed on. I can't believe the name's escaping me. Not Elijah. Pascal Chukwu. It's some. No, O'Shea Brissett. I'm sorry, O'Shea Brissett. We just included him. We also have Dion Waiters and Jeremy Grant. So I'll be here to get back and play NBA 2K. And we'll actually have the Syracuse Citrus Elite games live streamed right here on this station. So if you want to come back and watch me play the Syracuse Citrus Elite, I'll have more information about when those games are scheduled coming up later within the next couple of weeks. You may remember last year we won the national championship, and that was when the real NBA was still shut down, even though I know that the LA Lakers won the actual championship. We are going to assume or pretend that we're still the defending national champions. Okay, I've talked for too long. If you have any thoughts on Syracuse basketball or the Final Four or the NCAA tournament or sports in general or whatever's on your mind, please participate in the chat or I will accept calls. 315-743-4069. We have about 15 minutes left, 16 minutes left in the show. But let's get back into the music. We have a request from Brian, and thank you again for listening. He has requested Olivia Rodrigo with Driver's License, so you're going to hear that right after. Welcome back. This is our last segment of the entire show. Thank you very much for listening. And I once again, I thank you very much for tuning into my new platform. Coding this was not easy. I spent many a night this week, late, staying up to get one thing done. My mind works this way. If I can't get something to work, I just spend ounces and pounds of time trying my best to fix it. And I end up tiring myself out, and sometimes I get frustrated because I can't get it to work. But anyway, it works as far as it should now. So, and I'm not done. There's going to be more that I'm going to add, more I'm going to tweak to the user interface, to the functionality of the system. And I hope you'll be there next week, next Friday, to tune in. Between now and then, we're going to have Easter. We're going to have Final Four, and we're going to have Easter, and we have the National Championship game. So I want to wish everybody a happy Easter, happy Good Friday. This is an important time, not just for families to get together, but for the religious aspect of it. This is the birth. No, I'm sorry, Christmas is the birth of Jesus. This is the death and the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ, which is all this holiday is about. So hopefully you have a fun time doing whatever it is that you and your family do. And if you're not with your family, find some way to stay connected and enjoy this great holiday as we go into the first full week of April next week. Also next week, we're going to hopefully have the next round, the Elite Eight of the Millennial Madness bracket. We have, once again, to recap, if you missed it at the beginning of the show, we have Beyonce going up against Usher, Toy Story 2 going up against Millionaire AIM, playing against the iPhone first generation, and 9/11 going up against the Obama election. So please vote. I need your votes for the next round. I need your votes for next week, or otherwise we won't have a next round. So, and I'll be sharing a link to vote in my Facebook page after we get off the air. And so I'd really appreciate you being able to vote. And that's all, folks, for this particular show. I'm glad that you were able to tune in and support my stream. And hopefully we'll see you on another one of these. Please tell your friends, your family about this platform. And that's the only way that we're going to get more people to listen. So, without further ado, I want to wish everybody a good night, happy Easter, let's go Final Four, and I hope to see everybody back here this time next week.